Hello Internet. Alan Watts, who is a British philosopher, gave a talk about humans allegedly being a predatory species, which I don't believe to be true. In the description of this video, I will provide a link to the video I saw about his talk on YouTube, and in this video I want to go over what he said and debunk it. So let's see what he has to say.
Now what I want to point out is that the same sort of relationship exists between groups that would seem to be hostile to each other. Now, what are some of the bases of hostility? The real basis of hostility is that the biological order is a mutual eating society.
Bullshit. For those who don't know, an order is a taxonomic rank. For example, primates is a taxonomic rank. And of course, apes are primates. When have you seen an ape who is a primate eat another primate? It doesn't happen. It never happens. Besides, this disregards vegetarian species entirely, and there are plenty of vegetarian species who surely don't participate in any mutual eating society whatsoever, let alone a mutual eating society spanning their entire order.
It's a very curious game indeed.
No, it isn't, because it doesn't exist.
And if you are philosophically inclined, it is one which might bother your conscience.
Okay.
When you realize that you as an organism are a compound of murders.
I'm not a compound of murders.
You are actually a bag of water, because the human organism consists mostly of water.
Well, yeah, a human is about 60% water. Okay.
And this water is held together and prevented from slobbering all over the floor by a very complex arabesque of tubes and cells and films, the material of which was invariably belonging to some other being before you got it.
No, the stuff I'm made of did not belong to another being before I got it in my body. What you said is only true for animals that exclusively eat meat, and it's partially true for animals that eat both meat and plants. I do not eat meat. My body is not a compound of murders. My body does not consist of stuff that belonged to a different animal.
You had to kill a chicken, a cow, or a cabbage, or an apple.
Wrong. There are several other options. For example, you can delegate the killing to someone else. Actually, most people today do that. They delegate the killing to a butcher or to a corporation that then does the killing for them, and they buy the meat. But there are other options, because of course you could argue that when you delegate the killing to someone else, you're still part of that killing. You're still part of the cause for that killing. However, for example, vultures don't participate in the death of their prey. It's not even proper prey, they just wait for it to die and then get it. They don't prey on it. They look at it and wait for it to die, and then they go for it.
In order to get that tensile film of tube or whatever to hold the water in you and as you.
No, it wasn't, because I don't eat meat. I am a counterexample to your bullshit. And you don't prey on an apple. An apple is a fruit. The biological purpose of fruit, the reason why fruits exist, is because plants produce them for animals to eat.
And so we are, as human beings, a predatory creature.
No, we're not. We stopped a long time ago. It's called the invention of animal farming. Look it up on Wikipedia.
In fact, we are more predatory than anything else in nature. The sharks are supposed to be predatory, but they stay in the ocean. The piranha fish are supposed to be very predatory, but they stay in the Amazon.
Just because they are confined to some medium or some location does not change anything about how predatory they are.
The eagles are predatory, but they stay in the air and on the land. Only man ranges the whole range of elements, earth, air, and water, and preys on things.
Have you seen a human hunt whilst being in the air?
Not only does he prey on the living beings, he preys on the minerals.
How can you prey on minerals? Preying is taking something by violence. Minerals won't offer any resistance when you try to take them. You cannot prey on minerals.
And someone recently described our civilization as a lot of people sitting in the middle of a sewage dump shooting rockets at the moon.
What? Was that someone like a dude called Alan Watts?
Because if you read, get Playboy magazine for September.
Oh yeah, I get all my scientific sources from Playboy magazine.
And read about the use of water, or rather the misuse of water in our civilization. And it is absolutely horrifying. We've got to get that atomic power bringing us water from the ocean and nothing flat, or we're going to be very thirsty.
Actually, we don't get any water from the ocean except on islands where you don't have streams. It's very expensive to get salt out of water. So people prefer to not take water that has a lot of salt in it, like in the ocean. We have streams, we have rivers, we have groundwater, and purifying that is much, much simpler. You go for the simplest option. Purifying groundwater is the easiest, so of course in most places people go for using groundwater. They don't go for water in the ocean. And you don't need a nuclear power plant to pump water around. You can do it with other sources of power.
And you can see how we use water in the most amazingly uneconomical ways.
I suppose you mean unecological, because in the rest of the video you talk about ecology, not economy. And really, if you're comparing humans to other animals and say how we behave differently, talking about economy doesn't really make sense, because you say humans behave uneconomically in this way. Comparing that to other species does not make sense, because other species don't have economies.
So we are a predatory monster.
No, we're not.
Eating up the planet.
How can you eat up a planet?
And the reason why human beings are in danger of this is that they have refused membership in a mutual eating society.
No, that's not the reason. The reason is that humans have a hard time controlling themselves and doing what's best for their species. There is no implication between living as a species virtually forever and being part of a mutual eating society. There is no implication in either direction.
They want to be top and only eater, and do not want to be eaten.
Yes, of course, no animal wants to be eaten. It's called the instinct of self-preservation. Look it up on Wikipedia.
So that instead nowadays of returning what you ate to the earth...
Oh, humans return what they ate to the earth. Where do you think the sewage goes?
We return our remains to the earth in an unassimilable form. Our remains include not only mummified, formaldehyded bodies, courtesy of the morticians.
Doesn't happen in that many countries.
Encased in concrete so that no worms even can get in.
Who buries bodies encased in concrete?
But also the fact that many things that we return to the earth are no longer in the organic cycle. For example, rust does not assimilate properly.
How does rust not assimilate properly? What does it even mean to assimilate properly? Humans got the iron that produced that rust from iron ore. Iron ore is just a different iron oxide.
All sorts of chemicals, all sorts of gases that we give off do not return into the organic cycle.
Most of the gases and chemicals we give off return to the organic cycle, and those that don't are an actual problem, but most do.
And we are ruining, we are actually abolishing animals.
We are not abolishing animals.
Wild animals have less and less of a prospect of living. Wild birds are being greatly reduced in numbers.
You speak in such a generalized way. What populations are you talking about? Because if you Google stuff like wild bird population, you can find a lot of reports about the populations declining or increasing. And I can't see any clear trend, especially not in such a generalized way.
And what is more, some of the animals we farm, like chickens, are no longer chickens. They are strictly non-chickens which lay pseudo-eggs, because they are raised in enormous wire cell blocks and fed on chemicals.
Yeah, that's an actual problem.
Under the superstition that anything fed to a chicken will turn into chicken, and it won't. That is why you may have noticed that the chickens you buy don't taste like chickens could taste, especially those that have been allowed to run around in the sunlight and scratch. Those can become real chickens. Because you see, the necessary thing about any species that you live on is that you must love it.
Bullshit. Why would you have to love a species you live on? Do you think a lion loves its prey? No.
I love you so much I could eat you. Or, I eat you so much I could love you.
Wait, if you have eaten something, it's gone, it's killed, it's dead. And you're saying me you still love it. You can love something you killed and something you are going to kill.
But where you get things raised without love, you cannot love a whole cell block of chickens. You cannot love wheat when it is grown in vast wastelands or out of any trees.
Actually, I think fields of wheat look pretty awesome.
And it is sheared off the earth and then winnowed and reduced to pancake makeup, and then chemicals are added to it and it is converted into this styrofoam material called bread.
What kind of chemicals are you referring to exactly? Because the term chemical is mostly used in a strictly negative way, when of course a lot of things are chemicals by definition. And I actually agree that a lot of bread is bad, but that's besides the point.
If you are unwilling, you see, to join the mutual eating society, and you want to conquer everything and not be eaten by anything, the penalty you pay for this is the annihilation of your species. And you eventually annihilate through eating things that taste like chalk and string.
Species aren't annihilated because they attempt to not be eaten. Any animal attempts to not be eaten. Any animal attempts to not be part of a mutual eating society and will fight against being eaten or try to flee from their predators.
That's what it will come to, because you don't love what you eat.
Again, I don't see any causal relationship.
You have no respect for the raw materials.
And how exactly does having respect for raw materials help keep a species alive?
So, what we haven't understood then is that all groups need an enemy group.
Bullshit.
But that the enemy group which preys upon it is actually a kind of friend, because the enemy group prunes your own group. It keeps your population at a reasonable level, And it keeps you on your toes, because you have to defend yourself against it so you don't become flabby. But you see, we have lost the meaning of chivalry in all war situations and all conflict situations.
When was there ever chivalry in war situations or conflict situations? The goal in such a situation is to win, not to be chivalric.
Chivalry is indicated, for example, still in such customs as that the partners to a fight salute each other before beginning to fight and salute each other again at the end. You shake hands before boxing. You do these various things. You bow before a judo contest, and so on. And that means that you recognize the opponent as an honorable opponent.
Such a fight is neither a war situation nor any actual conflict. It's a game, it's a sport, it's a competition. It is not war, it is not a real conflict.
As somebody with whom a fight is a really important matter. And that is really one of the most essential laws of survival.
Wait, what is that law of survival you're talking about? Having a civilized sports training, having a boxing fight? What does this have to do with survival?
That's the essence of the thing. You must cherish the species you prey upon. You must see, like, for example, in lumbering, you must re-sow. You must plant a tree for every tree you take. That is cherishing the species.
And has absolutely nothing to do with being a predatory species.
And if you farm cows, you don't treat your cows, you often treat them better than you would your servants, because the servants can go hang, but the cows are valuable, and so you nurture them because they're going to sell as beef and they're going to provide milk or whatever it is.
Which again has nothing to do with being a predatory species. Farm animals are not preyed upon. Okay, bye.